Okay. So, welcome guys. This is the webinar for IIM Indore in association with InsideIIM. So today we'll be taking up questions that you have about the institute and anything that you want to know. Okay, we'll just start in a minute. Right. So before we start, we'll just give a brief introduction about ourselves. So my name is Shaumik, and I am from the Integrated Program in Management of IIM Indore. So basically, since it is a 5-year program, I am a fresher, which means I did 3 years of my undergrad in IIM Indore itself, and now I am in my first year. I just finished my first year of MBA. And any questions that you have about the institute, about the college, anything you want to know about life on campus, I'll be very well equipped to answer them because I've studied there for 4 years. And this is Pallavi here. She'll give an intro.
Hello everyone, I am Pallavi. I did my BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Kolkata. After that, I worked with Deloitte Financial Risk Advisory space for 2 years, and then I decided to join IIM Indore for my postgraduate program in management. I'm part of the placement committee here, so in case you have any questions regarding placements and like batch size issues or anything of that sort, you can reach out to me.
Right. So, firstly, before we actually take on whatever questions that you have, we will give you a brief about the college, about what makes it different, about the various innovative initiatives that it's taken. So, basically, in our introduction itself, a lot of your questions will be answered. But if anything, you will have more questions, obviously. So, we'll take that up towards the second half of the video. Okay. So firstly, I'll give you a brief about IIM Indore itself. So it was started in 1996, and it is the 6th oldest IIM, and it is right now considered to be among the old IIMs itself. So basically, IIM Indore was started with a mission of being socially conscious and contextually relevant. So what it means is that IIM Indore has always had a mission of having an inclusive growth, of bringing about change in the society as well as in the corporate world. And it takes both of these goals very seriously. And it has also been very contextually relevant. So whatever is the current trend in management, whatever is happening right now, what is needed to be taught right now, that IIM Indore is absolutely up to date with all of its course structure, all of its admission programs, and various different initiatives that it takes. So now I'll move on to talking about some of the innovative initiatives that it has actually taken. So I think Pallavi will talk about a few things.
Yes, so should we address the questions or should we just...
We'll talk about the college first and then...
Okay. So, a couple of things that you would want to first look at before you, decide any kind of B school. Like I would want to talk on my experience. So since I have 2 years of work ex, it was difficult for me to decide, like, should I be going for an MBA, and like, given that I am in Indore as the largest batch size, so it was obviously a bit confusing for me if I should be going for it or not. And a lot of people feel that you might have a location disadvantage because, like, since as compared to any other colleges that is based in Delhi or say Mumbai. So to address all of that, so the first thing about location, so IIM Indore is very close to Mumbai, which happens to be like Indore itself has like a huge hub of industries present, and that, like, me being in the placement committee, already spent 1 year here, and I haven't seen any kind of challenges for any companies to come over on campus, because of the location. Second, I looked at the courses, like what kind of courses do we have here at IIM Indore. So we have a couple of very interesting courses like game theory, or if you are an S&M enthusiast, I think Shomik can talk more about that. So we have a sports management, luxury retail management, any kind of, so rural management, that is like one major thing that IIM Indore specializes in.
And, a word about the location actually. So actually, instead of being a disadvantage, it's actually quite an advantage because IIM Indore was built around the Pithampur industrial area. So how it actually helps the college is basically there are a lot of secondary sector manufacturing industries around the college, and this helps the college in getting live projects very easily. So we work very closely with them, and we have live projects. We have market research studies which go on all the time, and we actually have an institute mandated program called the Industry Interaction Program, which you are supposed, as a part of your course itself, you're supposed to do a live project with one of the industries who are in the Pithampur industrial area or Indore, and therein you actually apply your knowledge, whatever you've learned in your courses, and it actually helps a lot because you can sort of visit the industry every day, because IIM Indore is here and Pithampur is just next to the college, so you visit the industries every day. And one more thing about the location is that Indore as a city itself is known to be the test market of all the major products that are going to be launched in the tier 1 cities. So this way you get to work with the same sample for your live projects that all the major leading corporates of India work with. So this way, location has actually helped the institute very much, and it is, as Pallavi already mentioned, it is close to Mumbai, and placement-wise, it is actually a plus point for us.
Yeah,
Then,
so also talking about the different kind of courses that we have here. So like it is very basic, very standard across all IIMs that you get to choose your own electives. So I think one major difference that has been there for me, like as compared to my UG, was the kind of professors that we have. Like you might think that you may not want to go to class, but then the kind of professors that we have, like
yeah,
we go to classes at 9 a.m. in the morning, and also as late as 10 p.m. in the night. So it's the professor, like we have Professor Prashant Salvan. He worked with the Ministry of Commerce. We also have professors who are on the boards or board of directors of companies right now. So they can give you the insights on what is happening in the market right now, right? So any kind of B school that you would want to go to, you would want to understand first that what kind of industry experience you're getting, because this is not a textbook course. You cannot learn the theories and then you expect that you are going to excel outside. You need a lot of industry insight, and this is what you get from the professors.
yeah, our professors are definitely top notch. Actually, one of our professors actually worked with John Nash himself, Professor Nagarajan, I think. So we have professors of this sort of work with international icons, and as Pallavi mentioned, we have professors who are on the boards of companies, and that actually comes across in their lessons they give. They are able to tell you the latest inside information from all of the companies that are going on. Then they can actually predict the future, what is going to be relevant for you. So they definitely incorporate that. So talking a bit more about the innovative initiatives that IIM Indore has, one of the major innovations that IIM Indore has come up with is the Rural Immersion Program, or RIP. So basically what happens is in this is that we have in our second term of first year, we are basically uh, we partner up with the Madhya Pradesh government, and we are divided into groups, and we work with the local administration of the cities and the towns and villages in various groups. Various people go to various towns and villages and try to understand how we can reform the local administration there, as well as the local social issues that are currently being faced there. So what happens here is that this way it helps us in a couple of things. So firstly, as I mentioned in the starting of the video, that IIM Indore aims to be very socially conscious. So this way we not, instead of just driving ourselves forward, we drive our whole society forward, this whole state of Madhya Pradesh forward, and actually give managerial insights into how the villages can be given the first how they can benefit from our learnings, as well as give a more holistic perspective to the local authorities. And we have a specific target in mind. So I think last year our target was to see how the open defecation free status of the villages in Madhya Pradesh can be verified as well as propagated. So this was one of the missions that we had, and it also helps because a lot of the, especially in the social in the marketing domain, we have to work with rural markets and basically an inclusive growth. So that way it gives us a first hand experience of how you can actually work and what are the challenges you might face. So this is an innovative program of the institute. And to tell you a bit more about this, the institute also actually won an award for this program RIP in London from the Association of MBAs, and it was a big thing because all across the world there are tons of colleges which are part of the AMBA association,
and I think in India only IIM Calcutta happens to be the other IIM who has an AMBA certification.
AMBA and AACSB certification both. So IIM Indore, one thing is they won this award, and it also has accreditations, AMBA and AACSB. So this is basically and this accreditation gives you a sort of global benchmark as to how the college is compared to other colleges of the world. And IIM Indore, being the only IIM other than IIM Calcutta to have both of these accreditations is a really big thing, because it's very difficult to get these accreditations, and this actually shows you the standard of education that is imparted here.
Okay, so we can also talk a bit about the entrepreneurship program that is present here. So we have an in-house incubation center for the students, and we also have a special provision for students who would want to go for entrepreneurship in their second year, wherein you can decide to take 15 credits instead of 60 credits for second year, and the institute that gives you a provision of deference in placements. That is like, if you want to have your own venture, you can go out, have a year or two of your venture. The faculty, all the in-house facilities,
support you.
Yeah, it's available for you. And if you decide to close your venture, suppose at the end of 1 year or 2 years, you can come back to the institute, and then you can sit in the placements for that season.
So basically, the biggest inhibitor for people to actually go on and start with their startups, especially at a B school level, is that, if I start my startup, what about the placement that I get? Will I get any support from the institute, this, that? So this way you can sort of try to start your startup in the second year itself, and if you succeed, then brilliant, you can sort of go on ahead and keep working on your startup. But of course it is very difficult to do that, so you have sort of a fallback in place, wherein if you don't manage to launch a startup very well, you can say that, okay, I did try, but now I would like to pursue the formal placement procedure. So you can come back next year after having deferred it for 1 year. And that way it actually encourages entrepreneurship on campus. I think this is one of the innovative programs none of the other colleges are doing. And other than that, entrepreneurship does have a very supportive environment here. So all the food ventures, all the laundry services, all of these activities are basically student run. So it gives them an experience of carrying out their own entrepreneurship venture on campus itself. So basically a very supportive ecosystem for startups as well as entrepreneurship.
Yes, so you can basically imagine your own friends and classmates sitting in the regular customary shops, and then they don't give you credits, so it's not too much of a benefit for us.
But then yeah, it does add them.
Yes, I think we can take a couple of questions and then we can continue talking about the college. So the first question is, can last year graduation student apply for CAT? Yes, you can. So, as Shomik said, that there are a lot of freshers. So we have like a very balanced atmosphere of about 50% freshers and 50% of the people coming in with WorkX. So if you are in your last year of graduation, you can apply, and provided that you pass your graduation, you would be given admission in IIM Indore.
Okay, one of the questions is how to age the IPM 80 paper. So this was more targeted on the MBA and CAT aspirants, but I'll take this question as well. So basically, IPM 80 is definitely, it's a very competitive exam, and I think the number of people who give it every year is increasing. So how to ace it is basically you need a lot of practice, and you need it in a competitive environment where you can actually sort of benchmark yourself to see how you are stacking up against the other people who are going to give this exam. So if you can there are a lot of classes you can enroll into. There are a lot of exams, these mock exams you can give, so that will be really helpful. And as well, a lot of practice is needed, so you just to sharpen your aptitude. So before the exam, if you do that, that will be helpful. Okay.
Second question, what are your academics like? So For me, I like what we call here is a 999 score. So 90 plus in 10th, 90 plus in 12th, and 90 plus in graduation. But we do have students who have come in with the graduation scores as much as 7 also. So in case you have that thing, that stigma in your head, wherein like you feel that you won't be able to get a call or a short list because you don't have a proper graduation score. So it is not like that. You based on your percentile and based on your performance in your interviews and your what NPIs, you would be given the call.
Basically, it's a holistic assessment. So
Yes.
it's not just your marks, but it's also what all you've done other than your studies. So because the institute selects people who will be perfect for the upcoming companies and how they select. So basically, you have to have a all-round personality to able to get into the institute. But yeah, a CADS also is an important aspect here.
Okay, when does the PGP session generally start? So for us, it started in the first week of July, I guess.
Yeah, so July it started.
Yeah, so June end we had our registrations, and in July first week we started with the orientation and everything, and by July second week we were ready for the classes to start.
Let's take a few questions.
Yeah. What is the ROI in IIM Indore? So yeah, I think ROI. So if you are suppose taking a standard loan of say 17 or 18 lakhs based on the fee structure, I would say that it is a pretty decent deal for you because given that an average of 20.97 is the CTC, the average CTC that we had for the placements this year that we conducted. So, and also if you look at it in terms of the kind of exposure that you're getting and the kind of innovative courses that you get to be a part of, I think that's, that adds up to so much more than, just the monetary aspect of it. Tell me about the faculty. So I think we talked a
we
bit
talked
about,
a little bit about the faculty, and to give you some more interesting facts about our faculty. So a lot of them are also mentoring startups. So basically, they are, from the beginning, they are honing how they can help the entrepreneurship environment, which I spoke about previously. And then some of the faculty are actually they are well awarded and quite recognized in the industry circles. I think Professor Motiani, Professor Harshal Lovalekar, in the faculty, they keep receiving awards. They get their papers published in A-list journals all the time. So in terms of faculty and the quality of faculty, I don't think you have anything to worry about there because it is a world-class institute with world-class faculty, and to be able to learn from them is actually a privilege in terms of where you study. So it's an amazing experience. It's not a place where you need to worry about.
Yeah, and also we have like so visiting faculties from all around, like all across B schools. So like you might have a faculty who's teaching in IIM Lucknow, and he would be coming and giving you the classes. So it's like I think it's the same structure across all IIMs, so you don't need to worry about the faculty.
Yeah, in fact, our director himself takes a course called Strategic Business Negotiations, and that course has been awarded by across. Yeah, so
the best course.
Best course. So faculty-wise, we are quite ahead. So I think we'll talk a bit more about the college now. So yeah, so one more thing I wanted to talk about was the student exchange program. So I think out of across all the campuses, B school campuses in India, we have the most robust and widespread STEP program, which is the student exchange program. So I think the number of universities that we offer is around 30 to 40 universities, which is quite a lot. The number of seats is around 180 to 200, which according to the batch size is almost just a little bit less than half the batch, and that's quite a good ratio, and we are on plans to expand that as well. In terms of the countries that you can visit, we have a partnership with colleges in Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Finland, France, Greece, Italy, New Zealand, Philippines, Spain, Sweden, Taiwan, USA. So in terms of the number of countries covered, I think IIM Indore is way ahead. The foreign exposure that you can get from the STEP program is amazing. And other than that, apart from the student exchange program, we have also started introducing a few courses will give you an international immersion as a part of the course requirement itself. So I think the latest course that we had was doing business with China, and as a part of that course, you were actually, other than interviewing business people from China and interacting with them, there was a provision to sort of help you do an international immersion wherein you visit China. So I think it's in a nascent stage right now, but in the years to come, I think next year probably it will be quite developed, and there will be a proper international immersion as a part of the course requirement itself. So in our student exchange program currently, you need to be maintain a certain level of academic performance to sort of qualify for that. But this gives you an opportunity through a part of the course itself. So it's a really great opportunity. And other than the student exchange program, also we'll talk about yeah. So I think in terms of diversity, our campus is by far the best, I can say, because I think gender diversity is the best in our
the
campus.
highest. So IIM Indore has like 40% of the female candidates, so which is like the highest across any B school in India, and which is followed by I think XLRI, which has like about 36 or 37%. But in terms of diversity, so like I already talked about it, that we have a fair mix of freshers as well as people with work ex. So anyone who has a work ex criteria of maybe suppose 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, we also have people coming in with the 8 years of work ex.
So in terms of gender as well as profiles, so you can get to interact with people who have worked in the industry for a long while. So in fact, IPM, the program themselves, so around 90 to 100 students join the MBA program each year. And that itself also gives a very different perspective to all the students. So they are freshers and they have been at the institute already for 3 years. So they can sort of provide a fresh set of eyes, and both of them move together, in terms of interaction and development.
So you would be working in same groups with them. So imagine working with in a group of people who have like suppose 2 years of work ex in a consulting firm versus 1 year of work ex in a firm like suppose say BlackRock, and you talk about being with the freshers. So you get three different perspectives from people coming in from three totally different backgrounds. And I think that is one of the key things that you would need to be successful as a B school graduate.
Yeah, because it's not only the academics but also how much you learn from your peers. So that itself is a very important aspect.
So I think we can talk a bit about placements, maybe. Like,
yes.
Yeah. So So for placements, I think all the major domains that you can think of, we have companies coming in for that. I can say a question about consulting firms coming to campus for placements. So in consulting firms, you can think of the big three. Maybe you can talk about BCG. So BCG India is a regular recruiter for us. Like they have been recruiting. We were the first campus they started recruiting from. So McKinsey also opened up their roles this year. We also had the Bain Capability Center come in. So apart from that, all the top four, the big four, Deloitte, Deloitte, EY,
Deloitte, EY,
PwC. If you can talk more about the kind of roles that we had, it ranges from financial risk advisory to cyber risk advisory space for consulting. We also had vector consulting open up, which is like a very niche role that they offer. We have Avalon, Synergy. So any kind of major consulting firm that you can think of is there on campus for you.
And the same can be said about other domains as well.
Yes,
I think.
so definitely. So even for finance, I can say a question about IBs. So any major IB, you can talk about JPMG, Deutsche Bank, or Goldman Sachs,
HSBC.
Yes, so all the major IB roles. So finance and consulting happen to be a very strong point for IIM Indore that way, because like even this year we had about 27% of the students who went in consulting firms who took up consulting.
Marketing as well is quite doing well. So all the top marketing firms also visit the campus. So any HUL, Nestle, Marico,
ITC, PepsiCo. So so any kind of marketing also firm. So we have a lot of competitions also that open up for marketing. Very niche firms in that. So what are the questions?
We'll take a few more questions now.
Yeah. So it says, why do IPM students get less placement than PGP students? So it's not like that. I think it's more of a division based on the WorkX versus the fresher criteria.
Yeah, so WorkX people actually, there are a few more companies which open up for them because they are looking for people who have experience in the industry, as well as the CTC sort of goes up depending on the number of relevant WorkX months that you have. So IPM students don't have that because obviously they join directly to the MBA program without working in the industry. But if we had to sort of release a statistic for freshers and IPM, so there would be a difference. I don't disagree, but that difference is fast closing up because more and more companies are now accepting IPM placements as IPM for their placement activities. So that way, it is doing quite well. Okay.
Yes. So I think IPM is only in their 10th year of the course,
Not
and it's
10th
only.
year. It started in 2011, so it is becoming. It is getting more experience. The course is constantly being reformed, and as per what the industry feedback we get, the alums feedback we get. So and as well, IPM gives a diverse mix to the batch as well. So that helps both the IPM students and the incoming PGP batch. So that way, IPM is definitely one of the very innovative things that has been done by the campus. Okay. So now we'll answer a few questions regarding the process. I think one of the questions is English fluency essential for interview of CAT exam? So I did not give the CAT interview, obviously, but as far as in general, the feedback that I have heard from faculty as well as interviews in general. So English is a requirement of verbal ability is a section of the CAT, and you do need to have a good command over the language. But if you can sort of show that you add value in, if your English is not very good, but definitely you can communicate in it, but you add value to the college in terms of your other all-round performance, I think you will be easily be able to make up for the fact that you're not very good in English. But communication is sort of important, but I won't say that it will kill your chances. I think Pallavi can talk better about that. She actually gave the.
Yeah, so I can talk a bit about my interview experience. So since I had like 2 years of working, so my interview basically revolved around what kind of experience did I have, like, and any kind of current affairs relating to your work domain, you should be preparing for that. Apart from that, there were some quick questions around mathematics, because I said that mathematics was my favorite subject. Uh, I regret that now. But then, yeah, so you need to prepare more about the kind of hobbies that you have, and you should be clear about what you want to achieve from an MBA. Like, any kind of basic question that comes. Say, why do you want to do an MBA? So your MBA has to be a means to achieve something in life, and MBA is not the end goal that you're going to be doing. So that, I think, that is one thing that people do not understand very quickly. So you need to prepare your interview questions according to that, and also you just need to show the interviewer what have you done, and you know what you have been doing, and you know what you want to achieve in the future. It's not like you're just running behind a B school only because you want to have an MBA degree and no other future vision. So as you know, in when you come to IIM Indore or go to any other IIM for that matter, you are prepared to be future leaders. And if you are not, if you don't have a vision for yourself, you cannot definitely have a vision for the company or anywhere that you're working for. So apart from that, for what preparations, I think you would need to work on your mainly the current affairs and all the basic. I think Shomik has been sharing them with you guys already. So you can just look at the current affairs and also the kind of new technologies that might be coming in. So how do you think that blockchain or AI is going to do in the next coming 10 years, and also some kind of maybe abstract topics.
Yeah, and have a very clear understanding of what your interests are other than academics also, because that is a major question that is asked. So what are you other than your studies? basically.
Yes.
So now I'll also tell you a bit about the campus life and college. So basically, in terms of infrastructure, I think IIM Indore is way out there. I mean, it is the largest campus across all IIMs. And I think it's around 193 acres or something, the campus, the whole size. And
Yes.
there are the hostels are newly built, so the facilities are top notch. And you anything you can think of, actually, there's an Olympic-sized swimming pool which I think is very rare across a campus, at least a B school campus. So you can pursue swimming. Then there's a sauna right beside the swimming pool. Then there's a full size cricket stadium actually in campus, and first class matches were like there were talks to actually hold first class matches here, which is a big thing because matches are they're usually conducted in standardized, recognized stadiums, and IIM Indore being able to host one of them actually shows you how robust our technology is and how infrastructure is. Then you have tennis
Yes, so we
courts, badminton
tennis,
courts.
volleyball, basketball, badminton. You say it, we have it on campus. Like,
Yeah,
although you might not have the time in the first year to go and
yeah.
explore most of that,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
how well you can do time management depends on you. So,
yes, that is definitely something
yeah,
that we learn here. Also, we have like two gyms, like full class gyms with the
yeah.
gym instructors present there.
And
So
actually, we have not only the infrastructure but also the culture to use all of these things. So we have a sports fest also, which is conducted by the IPMs, and PGP is also conducted. And then, other than the sports fest itself, we have a few unique events which are not held anywhere in the other IIMs or B schools. So there's one event called the I5 Summit, and this is the only summit which is conducted together with an IIT and an IIM. So IIT Indore and IIM Indore hosted together, and this summit is basically it is a forum for industry and business leaders to come and address the college, address the institute, have panel discussions, and interact with the students and the media. So it's a really huge event. I think we have had many international and nationally recognized figures of the industry come here. We had the CEO of Hyperloop come here. Then we had an panel discussion of all the leading comedians of India actually. The Tanmay Bhatt that came in, then Arunab came in. There's a TVF person, AIB person. So they had a panel discussion on the business aspects of stand-up comedy, and these are some of the interesting topics. And then we have industry leaders from your recognized companies as well.
So some of our alums itself. So we
Yeah,
have
our
Rahul
alums also.
Razdan, who's the CEO of Reliance Jio. So he comes in every now and then on campus to give the students motivational talks, as well as like hosting the any kind of competitions that Reliance is having on campus.
So our alum base has so since our institute was started about just a bit over 20 years ago, so that's why our alums have probably not become CEOs of large firms, but they are definitely in the leadership positions of a lot of lot of companies. So as she mentioned, Rahul Razdan is our CEO. He was our alum. He was the CEO of Geo Messaging. Then we have Amit Thakur, he was the director of Mu Sigma. Then we have Kunal Purohit, he was the vice president of HCL, and all of these famous alums that we do have. So, and actually, one of the points that we would like to highlight is about a lot of questions are asked about the large batch size of IIM Indore. But we believe that it works to our advantage actually, because of our large batch size, we have alums spread across all the companies in India, and this definitely gives us a leg up in the placement process that we have, as well as the knowledge transfer that happens across industries, across domains, across companies. So the alum base of IIM Indore is definitely quite a plus point for it. So
and not just on campus, like once you get into a B school, you'll understand the value of networking. So you are say in a campus with 600 other students, and plus you have a senior batch. And also, so when you move out, so you're part of the IIM community, IIM Indore community, that has like much more strength of people as compared to any other IIM. So the networking that you do here in the 2 years and then in the coming any kind of reunion events, it is so much more than what you can get at any other B school.
Yeah. So while the students are on campus, there are a lot of alumni center events also. So which gives the alumni an opportunity to sort of reconnect with the institute as well as their fellow batchmates and also with the students. So that way, the networking platform that is established there is really great. You can talk to the industry leaders and actually, get advice about your career, about your life, anything you want to. So it's pretty great that way.
So I think a couple of questions are there regarding IITs, IITians. So like we already talked about it earlier as well, that we have like a homogeneous mix. So we definitely have more engineers coming in as the years go by, but since IPM is there, so we have freshers.
Yeah, so the diversity of engineer, non-engineer, not only IPM, I mean, other than engineers, we have people who have done BCom.
So students are coming in from SRCC, Hindu College. I also saw a question regarding CAs. So yes, a lot of CAs nowadays are opting for MBA.
Yeah, and not only from a conventional fields, we have a lot of people who decide to do an MBA after, say, we have a dentist on campus.
Yes.
So she decided to do an MBA after becoming a dentist. We have a doctor. We have some
biotechnology students as well coming in for MBA.
So that way the sort of students on campus is very diverse, as you already said. In terms of diversity, IIM Indore is way ahead. And
also, so IITians, so you can talk about any big engineering college. So you can talk about IITs, NITs, BITs. So there are a good number of students coming in from that, but that does not mean that people from other engineering colleges are not coming in. So me, for example, I am from an average engineering institute in Kolkata. So that did not stop me from getting an admission into IIM Indore. So just this is not the end of the world for you that you did not get into an engineering college, a good engineering college that you might want to get into. So that is not the
basically,
end of the world.
If you can prove yourself, then you can definitely get admission into your dream college.
Yes. Okay, so this is a funny question. Do you get poha saving breakfast?
Yeah. Yes. So while I was talking about the infrastructure, I forgot to mention about the mess. So definitely we stay in Indore, and Indore is known for its poha jalebi. So that all we do get from I think mess. There are 7 different days. We have 7 different menus. We get poha on one of the days. You can also get idli, uttapam, sambar. And you can get bread pakoda, anything you want.
Yeah, and then you also have a lot of food
vendors on campus.
Yes, yeah. So I'm a foodie personally, so you get a lot of options. So
you have HUL Adda on campus, you have Nestle on campus, you have chicken serve for the non-veg people. Yes. Then I mean the food wise you don't need to worry. So there are also a lot of Uber, Zomato, Pasos, all of these deliver on campus also. So that way you're sorted. I mean, if you're thinking that my undergrad did not have a very good mess, I need a good mess in IIM Indore. So that way you don't need to worry about.
Okay, so there are a couple of doubts.
So there's one about extracurriculars also, right? Yeah. So I'll mention this as well. So in terms of the clubs and committees that we have, I think we have a very wide range of clubs and committees as well as special interest groups. So in terms of committees, we have the functional committees which actually support the institute in their administrative as well as future activities, and they are also a part of directing the future goals of the institute to a certain extent. So the media committee, the infrastructure committee, the academic committee, so they give us a student voice in terms of the future courses that the institute might actually take up, then the media policy of the institute, then the infrastructure requirements of the institute. So all of these functional committees, they are a part of the administrative bodies of the campus, and they help the institute in terms of carrying out the daily activities as well as giving the institute a future direction. and then obviously placement committee and
Yeah,
alumni
exactly.
committee.
So, placement committee, you can think that we have a placement officer and placement chair, but most of the interaction that is done with the industry people who are coming on campus, or the companies that we want to have on campus, it's done by the students itself. So, the placement committee is solely running it with the help of alumni committee or media committee, as well as the placement preparation committee. So, it's all a student-run activity, and you get a lot of opportunities to take up PORs, that's position of responsibilities on campus, so that kind of gives you an added edge of exposure within the industry, and how are you going to
Basically
talk to
applying what
people.
you've learned into actually,
Yes.
if you're not working for the industry yet, might as well work for the institute. So basically shaping the institute goals. Also, other than the committees, we have clubs and interest groups. So clubs, there are clubs for each domain of management. So we have the marketing club, which is Mercury. Then we have the HR club, then consulting club, finance club. So for finance club, actually we have the equity research club, which is Voyage Capital, actually has started a student-run mutual fund. So basically, the students in the club themselves, they invite investments from the student community, and they work on the fund themselves. And I can say that for quite a few years, they've been performing way better than the industry averages and returns that you get. And people actually try to invest a lot of money here when they are on campus. And we have Equity, Currency, Economics Club, then Finance Club specifically. Then we have all operations club, IT club. So these clubs,
So any kind of interest that you have, you will find a group of people who are going to be there with you.
And also we have sort of recognized college clubs also, which are on campus, in terms of who are internationally have associations with various colleges across India. So we have ASEC, we have IEEE. So all of the share all of these clubs, basically they also have a sort of forum at our college. And any place you want to hone your experience and you want to work for, you have it on campus. Yeah, of course, other than management clubs, you definitely have music, drama, debating. Your interests are definitely taken care of by the clubs. So that way, there's nothing you're missing out on.
Okay, so I think we have repeated doubts about like batch size and people getting placed. So,
Yeah.
as we said already, as we mentioned already, that there's no dearth of any kind of companies coming on campus. You will have ample opportunities, and you can go back and check the placement reports as well. So, people have been getting opportunities based on what you want and based on the kind of industry standards that are already there. Indore.
And other than that, even if you have a sort of a inhibition in your mind that I'm not prepared enough, we have the placement preparation committee, which actually supports you throughout the placement process. So they give you industry reports, they give you news, they give you tips and tricks to crack interviews, crack GDs. So that way, the infrastructure and ecosystem for placements is very good, and everyone gets placed, and whoever is wanting to go for his dream company, he can definitely get a shot at it. So that way, the large batch size, as I mentioned earlier, is actually sort of a plus point for us in terms of the alums and reach that we have. And despite the large batch size, I think we've been doing very well in our placements. And as Pallavi already mentioned, the CTC figures and the I think divisions and all that. So that way, you can definitely see that we've been doing quite good. And in terms of the average CTC, I think
So
better than a few other
there's
campuses
actually
also.
nothing that you need
Yeah.
to worry so much
Yeah,
about
don't need to worry about
with the
that.
batch size.
Obviously, you'll be in a lot of it'll be a very hectic process for you. But definitely, once you face that, actually, you can go and be prepared for anything. I've started with the placements now. Everything else is a piece of cake for me. So that way, you can definitely get an edge over there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we have a question that my past acads are not good. So, like we already mentioned this earlier, that your academics are not the only thing that we are going to look at. So any kind of selection process will be done based on your CAT percentile, as well as your performance in WAT and GD and PI. So, you don't need to just focus on your academics, because anyway, it's in the past. You have to bury the hatchet now. So focus more on the preparation that you have at hand, the kind of calls that you're getting, and try to convert that based on, your preparation of your interviews.
Okay, I mean, is there a specific specialization that you provides? So there's a question about specific specialization that IIM Indore provides. So basically, IIM Indore is just a platform. You can sort of, in terms of the electives you choose, in terms of the activities you want to do on campus. So that way you can specialize yourself for any domain of management. You can learn any particular interest that you have, and that way you can align the courses and the activities you do on campus, and the infrastructure and courses are set up in a way that you can pursue anything. So finance, consulting, marketing, HR, you can actually choose anything, any domain of management you want. You can hone yourself towards that and work towards that, and obviously get a placement in that company as well. In terms of the specific programs that IIM Indore provides, so IPM is one program, but I think most of the audience here has already done their undergrad, so IPM would not be of interest to you. But PGP HRM is one more program that has been started. It was started last year, and it provides a specific focus on human resource management as a field, and that has actually been doing quite well. It was only in its first year last year, and this year, in the upcoming year also, the admission has been open for that. And so IIM Indore, other than the general domains of management, which is marketing, finance, consulting, operations, IT, HR program specifically targets um, to hone HR managers, and that is again keeping in line with the contextually relevant goal of IIM Indore. So it has started this program. Then
so we see, yeah. So in case of specialization, so you get a general management degree, and then based on the kind of subjects that you choose and the electives that you have, you can say that you have a specific interest in a certain domain. But we don't have any core specializations as such are being offered here.
Other than this different program, which
Yes,
is PGP HRM.
yes, that's true. So what are the programs for students who have some work experience? They also have to go for some internship. Yes. So people with work experience, there is no special program. So it's all the same. So you will be a part of the PGP batch only. You will also have to do the summer internship. So that is a part of the curriculum that is there for the PGP course. So the IPM, the PGP incoming batch from CAT, all of them would be sitting in the same classroom, having the same courses, going through the same internship as well as the final placement process. So there is no differentiation.
There's also a question about hostel life. So as we mentioned earlier, hostel life is, I mean, so that we have single rooms. So everyone has his own individual room, and there are also, the food as well as multiple ventures on campus, infrastructure-wise, sports-wise. I think in the second year, you'll definitely have time to pursue a lot of your sports-related and social-related hobbies that you have. So that way, hostel life is pretty great. I mean, the infrastructure is top notch. So the hostels are actually newly built, so that way you won't have a problem. I mean, I think it's different from a lot of the undergrad colleges that
definitely,
might be coming from. But
and even a lot of B schools, they do not have hostel facilities, or they do not have single sharing rooms. But I think at IIM Indore, that is one major differentiator, that even though we have the largest batch size, every student gets their own
every student gets their own rooms, and enough platforms to interact with others also, so that's not a problem really. So I also want to talk about the social initiatives actually that IIM Indore takes, and I think this is an area where IIM Indore actually differentiates itself from the rest. So IIM Indore has been very socially conscious, and on campus itself, you'll have a lot of channels to provide back to the community, give back to the community, be socially active in a lot of fields. So you name it, actually, you want to pursue an education or each one teach one type of initiative that you want to take on your own. So we have evening classes that we take, the students themselves take for various people who could not get an education when they were in their school days. So you actually teach people yourselves, and also we have a student an institute backed initiative called iHelp, where students go from the campus to surrounding village and rural areas to teach rural school students, and give them a different perspective from what is being taught at their school. We also have an initiative called Pause at Planetine. So herein we actually sort of find animals who have been abandoned, and stray dogs who are not having anyone to care for them. So we as on campus as well as outside campus, we sort of find these animals and help them connect with people who would be willing to adopt them and take them on as pets. So in terms of being socially conscious, IIM Indore has all types of initiatives. So from animal welfare to education to helping your government initiatives.
Yes, so we also have, like we already talked about the rural immersion program. We also have live projects that we conduct with government of Madhya Pradesh, government of Andhra Pradesh, wherein the students, they go and interact with the local IAS officers or the district heads or the district magistrates, and they take up little projects that, this could be short term or long term projects, wherein you get to apply your strategy lessons on the real groundwork as well.
So there's a question about what percentage of students actually take up the startup program and placements. So as you mentioned earlier, the entrepreneurship orientation program, which allows you to defer your placement by trying to get your own startup off the ground for 1 year. So we'll be honest, actually, it is a very brave step to sort of try and get your own startup done. So I think a very small percentage of people have actually taken that initiative, but and it started about a couple of years back. So I think in terms of the startup, which actually startups is actually started as a result of this program, I think in terms of being famous, probably we won't have names to give you, but I think it is constantly being developed. So this program, it is
even this year we had like 2 or 3 candidates who actually opted for this entrepreneurship activity, and we also, they can easily come back to us like at the end of next year for their placements, and they're continuously being held by the faculties and our own director, Mr. Himanshu Rai, for their startup projects. But then there was a question regarding funding that is being provided by IIM Indore. So there is no specific funding that we are providing. You can have the facilities of the infrastructure being available to you, and the consultancy of the faculty and any of the mentors or the Allenbys, but there is no financial help that is being provided
so
by
in
the
terms of
institute.
financial help, obviously it is a difficult thing to take forward because it's a complex procedure how to fund your startup, how to evaluate it. But we'll definitely give you the network to interact with all the alums, interact with all the faculties, interact with other people who might actually be interested in seeing your startup. And from then, them you can. It depends on you how much you can convince them about the success, the merit of your startup, and then definitely the platform that it provides you to actually get the funding. So that is something which is invaluable, and from there it totally depends on you how much funding you can get.
Yeah, so there are questions about need-based scholarships. So yes, need-based scholarships are being offered at IIM Indore, and so you can look up the details more on the website, where there is a certain salary slab of the family income below which you are being offered the rebate in the fees. So I think the minimum, I think the maximum salary slab is 10 LPA. So before that, you have like about 5 to 10% rebate.
The details will all be on our website, and we'll
yeah.
definitely share the links to these specific questions, the need-based financial assistance related questions, all these on our forums and groups. So you'll get the exact details from there. And definitely there are provisions, so you don't need to worry. And we'll take a few more.
Yeah, so so some maybe interview preparation or GD preparation tips. Maybe I can give a few. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, that's the enigma. I mean, everyone wants to know about that. But
yeah, so I think this has to be more of an open-ended question. I think you must have heard it already in the preparation, that you must be doing by now. So it's more about, so you need to talk about your strong points. So like I talked about my work experience because I was very comfortable in handling those questions and I was comfortable in handling academics. But I did not have a lot of hobbies to talk about, so I kind of evaded that. So I think the trick here is to make the interviewer, give you that X factor that you have. Okay, so that one thing, that one question that you want the interview to be all about. So focus more on that.
Yeah, actually, it's the most helpful question. In the moment you talk about something which you want, the interview takes the direction of that. So
Yes.
it's a good question.
Were you guys freshers when you got admitted into IIM?
So,
No,
yeah.
work ex 2 years.
So I was obviously a fresher because I came in directly after 12th, which is the feature of an integrated program in management. But there are a lot of freshers who come in, as well as you mentioned that there's a lot of diversity. Okay, so
Do they take BBA graduates? Yes, we already talked about diversity. So BBA, BCA, BCom,
any undergrad
BTech,
degree that you do, undergrad, postgrad, even PhDs, if you want to do an MBA after that, you will definitely be given an opportunity to join the campus. So that way.
Can Hindi medium students get into IIM Indore? So yes, there has to be like Shomik already talked about it, that there has to be a basic English communication understanding, because all the courses are conducted in English. So and also you have to get through your verbal ability and your and your GD, that would be conducted in English. But apart from that, if you're able to express yourself, that should not be a problem. Like you do not need to be a 99.9 percentile in verbal ability. That's for sure. Okay, so last 5 minutes. I think we covered most of the questions. I think so. Yeah, why comparison between any of the B schools? So like we already said that there are a couple of factors that you want to look at when you are actually looking at a B school. So one is the location, second is the kind of courses, third is the placements that are being offered. So in terms of everything, we've already covered.
I think each campus has its own specific special features that you would want to consider. So in terms of comparison, I think that we would leave it on to you. I mean, which institute you want to join finally, but definitely which college does well is different for each college, obviously, and it depends on what is most important to you. So I mean. So our college, as we mentioned, the strong points of our college, the placement is good, the entrepreneurship culture is good, we have the location is good. So all of these things, if they are important to you, you might consider joining IIM Indore. So that way, you for other institutes, you would be probably best to look up other colleges and their websites. But we have mentioned our own strong points, and obviously the IIM tag which comes with IIM Indore is one thing which is definitely quite helpful. I mean, even in the industry and in the
so yeah, I think a lot of you might have a question regarding IIM Indore being the youngest across all the old IIMs. So we definitely took some time to build our brand equity, but when you go back and now you compare the reports of IIM Indore versus any other established IIM, you can see that IIM Indore has already established its brand image.
Yeah, and we've been doing quite well in terms of placements, in terms of
any competitions that you talk about. So when you come to B school, that's a major thing that you see. So competitions and any kind of the profiles,
and also the terms of being contextually relevant, the innovative initiatives that is taken. I think IIM Indore is way ahead in terms of those things. So if you compare a few of the colleges with IIM Indore, I think like I am very happy with my college experience in college life. Even though I am in IPM, and people have a lot of doubt about that course as well. So I'm very happy, and I think I'm sure Pallavi can tell you about it as well.
So definitely, like it is a change when you come to are already working in the industry, and then you come back and then you join college. So it becomes very challenging for you to get into the academic years again. But it is definitely
So what? Are you guys allowed to go outside of campus, or is it like Amitabh Bachchan's Gurukul? So interesting framing, but definitely we have so our campus is slightly on the outskirts of the Indore city. That's not a cause for concern because we have institute buses flying every half an hour. Buses which will take you to the institute. They'll go to the key location and wherever you want you can visit. So till it's connected only you can stay. And
I think it's breaking.
yeah, we're still live. Okay, might be a internet issue.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
last minute.
last question: how does it feel to get 20 LPS salary? So we're still only in our summer internships. We don't know whether we'll receive the PPO or not, but definitely. I mean, this is a question we would like for you to find out for yourself after you join the college.
So we, I think that's all. That's all from our side, guys.
Okay, there's a glitch in between, I think. So yeah, we'll just. I think there was a glitch in between. We'll reiterate a few points which we mentioned. So in terms of being able to visit the campus outside, yeah, we there are hourly and buses plying which go from the campus to the city, and you can use those buses to go anywhere in the city. It go visits all the key places. So connectivity is not an issue.
Yeah. Apart from that, in terms of preparation, guys, I think we've covered mostly everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
your basic preparation would do about your PI, and for what, make sure that you are aware of the kind of your surrounding and whatever domain you're specializing in. And I think what else?
Yeah. So I think we're mostly done. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to the media and PR committee of IIM Indore. So I'm a part of that. And you can message. There's a Facebook group. I think the links for that will be on Pagal Guy and InsideIIM as well. So you can join those groups. Just send your screenshot of your call letter, and we'll add you straight away. And other than that, there'll be definitely many forums for you where you can connect with us. We'll be sure to post all the links on the groups, and any other questions that you have, please feel free to ask us. We'll also, once you're selected, we'll also mentor you into the campus, to the selection process, and everything will help you out here. So don't need to worry about that. It's a mentorship program which is established by the committee. So I think that's it. And it was really great to talk to all of you. And we'd like to thank Inside IIM and especially Nidhi and Chirag and all those people who helped us. So
best of luck, everyone. We are actually looking forward to having you on campus.
Yeah, see you guys here.
Yeah.
Okay, bye bye.